How do you turn this on? Jesus Christ. So new year, 2021, it means new goals for me. Now, what exactly does that mean? Well, it means I kind of have to start pulling my weight around here and doing some extra stuff to make sure the channel can really kind of get off the ground and put more time and effort into it. So I've always had an interest in creating things, whether that be doing drawings, doing videos, writing stories, and I've always loved to express myself in many different mediums. The only thing I realized, though, is that while Eden's at work, I have a shit ton of time to myself. And I have to keep myself somewhat productive. And to try and do that, I've tried many different ways of doing that.
Trekking to the freezing ice log, shaking. You all eventually get to a certain point where you come upon familiar tracks at the end of the day.
Wow, what are these tracks? They've been snowing so long.
Not all of them have worked. Yeah. So, at the times when artist block really hits me, I take a look around my room, and I look at the posters on my walls. My little office here, this is what I'm talking about. Whenever I get like huge artist block, I tend to gravitate towards all the stuff that I've put up in my office or all the stuff I have on the walls. Most of this stuff is kind of like posters and pictures that I've collected or made over the years. Some of them I could have come across at conventions. Other things are stuff that I've drawn that I've put up myself. It's a whole smorgasbord full of stuff. But I realized something as I was looking over all of my posters and stuff, that I have something that not a lot of people have, and not a lot of people are going to know, but it stands out like a sore thumb. And I have mixed feelings about this, but I'm going to show you. Right next to my desk, as you can see right there, there's my desk. Right next to my desk, you can see this giant box. A couple of these boxes that are jutting out from this case. Now, what are these? What is this game? I mean, looks interesting. It's, again, from where I'm sitting at my desk, it juts out of my bookcase here. This is the biggest one. What is this? What is, hold on, let me, Super Dungeon Explorer? Well, what is Super Dungeon Explorer? As you can see, it is a very colorful box. It's got a chibi art style. It was published by Soda Pop Miniatures and Cool Mini or Not, also Ninja Division. It's not on this one. But this is essentially a throwback to old Japanese-style RPGs, like dungeon crawlers. As you can see, it's a figure-based figure-based game, as you can see. And it's got a board and a whole bunch of cards in the game. You can play with between 2 to 6 players. It's essentially like D&D, but it's got a lot more baggage, I'll say. Now, if you go onto Board Game Geek, the whole thing that they have here is that it came out in 2011, so I would have been just finishing high school when this game came out. It's got a 6.8, which is a little better than average, I think. I'm assuming it's a 10-star rating. Average playtime, 120 minutes. This thing will last you a while, so if you're going to be playing this game, you need to be sitting for a long haul. 2 to 6 players, and weight 2.75 out of 5. That means it's complexity rating. I'd actually think this is a pretty complex game to play. It's not that good for beginners, but honestly, it was fun when I played it. I've played this game before. I've only played this one. And it's very similar to how you would play a game of D&D. I could actually see you playing D&D through these kind of modules. I wanted to actually get these and the other kind of games to use for D&D because they have really good quality miniatures. As you can see, they're all in chibi art style, but they're actually really well done. All you have to do is paint them. Most of them, well, the first edition, these you'd have to put them together yourself, so it's very similar to Warhammer. Later editions came out with ones that are already put together. All you have to do is paint them. But, as you can see, the pictures here on Board Game Geek, they give you an idea of the quality after you've painted them. So you've got some really cute looking stuff here. Like, some people really, really love this game because it still had like a really good... It had a good like painting scene around the time when this game was still big, before all of its bullshit happened, and I'll get into that later. But yeah, you can tell that people would put a lot of time and effort into this, and that was something that I really wanted to do. So before I talk about some of the bad things about this game, why don't we open this box up and let's kind of get a look for this ourselves. So open up the box. Ooh, what do we got here? We got ourselves a little game manual. As you can see, it's probably like a good 30 pages. But the game manual, of course, gives you all the rules, gives you everything you want to know, and all the information for the game. Then you've got one of the main game boards. There's actually multiple. So this is kind of like the main one that the DM, the Game Master, is going to use to keep track of the progress of the game. So you put your main pieces here, and there's the boss pieces here. Depending on how long you want the game to run, you are essentially going through this and getting loot based off of these check markers. And then you've got your adventure effects, you've got your loot, and your treasure, which these are all card stacks. Let's see, then you've got the game tiles where there's multiple ones because you actually come up with the map yourself. The Game Master does. So you have multiple different maps in here, and truth be told, I've actually combined a number of these packs together. So you're going to see stuff that was not in this folder. This is pretty cool. Looking back down here, why don't we check some more game boards? Ooh, I like these little gemmed colored ones that are really cool. These ones actually remind me a lot of the multiplayer modes in Donkey Kong 64, so that's really cool. I like that. But you can see there was a lot of time and effort put into like the design of this stuff. It all looks really cool. Now, we got some cards here, as you can see. So, with all the cards, they are color-coded, so you can kind of know which one goes where. These yellow cards are essentially your artifact cards, so the stuff that's going to power your characters up during the game. Well, all of these are color-coded, so what's better, it would help if I had a player card here. Get a player card so we can kind of get an idea for this better. So, with the color-coded situation, say you're playing an Ember Mage, she's got all of her information here. So you've got like how far she can move, how many actions she can take, her general skills are here all on the side, how much health she has, how much mana she has, all of her attacks and stuff, and she's got pretty cute artwork. But you notice that there are gems along the sides. See, there's a red one, yellow one, blue one, green one. So over the course of the game, whenever you get your gems, it's essentially, whenever you get the artifacts, they're color-coded. So you can only really get one per side, from what I remember. So you would kind of line it up with whatever color that gem was on that side, and that would kind of take up that place. So yellow ones would go on that side. I believe in this deck, green ones, they go on the other side. So you really start to like beef up your character. You can also get into the idea of the the scale of these minis. Check this out. I don't remember what mini this was, but like this is kind of the quality that we got here. Boom. I have not colored any of these, so what is this? Oh, this one was one that I bought that actually didn't come with the... It did not come with this section. Oh gosh. Can I... Focus. 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 It's essentially like a skeleton pirate. It's pretty cool. And you've got a whole bunch of dice in here too. Different colored dice for different things. So each dice has like a different little image on each side. Like this one has like a little health potion. This one has a little heart. The green one has both a heart and a potion. So I didn't look up the rules again before making this video, so I'm kind of just flying through this by what I think I remember. Remember, the last time I would have played this would have been back when I was in high school, and that was like 9-10 years ago at this point. It's 2021. It's been a while. And then there's a whole bunch of different tokens as well. So a bunch of different tokens, which let me see if I can. Oh, here we go. There's a whole bunch of them in here, and the tokens were all essentially like different effects that you would be hit with during the game. So if you were stunned, if you were poisoned, if you were burning, if your armor was broken. They also had little health tokens, whole bunch of different stuff. Setup of this game actually takes longer than playing the game itself, in my opinion. But that is just one of the sets that I have. I have multiple. So why don't I show you the other sets before we continue? Then, the little brother, we've got the 2nd edition, Super Dungeon Explorer, The Forgotten King. I actually like the style and the make of this one better than the original. I actually think this one's a lot more polished looking, and it's got cooler looking enemies. Oh, just look at that. Look at some of those minis. Those look fucking cool. And by the 2nd edition, this is when they started to actually put these together themselves. In the original 1st edition of Super Dungeon Explorer, you had to actually glue all of the parts for the minis together yourself. No, that was... Oh, look at that box. It's a very clean box. I really like it a lot. Open up. It's real tight though, because I think I have some extra stuff in here, like the last one. So, let's put this up here. So for this one, they put a little extra shit in here. So, with the start of the 2nd edition, they added in a new game mode, which they have the regular quick start rules, which they give you kind of like a simplified version of how the game is to play for both sides, the GM and the players. They gave a little advertisement for a different game that they were doing from their Ninja division, as well as other games on the back. So there's the classic mode. This is the classic mode rule set. If you wanted to play the game like how it was originally meant to play, they give you the full-on rule set there. They also have an arcade mode set. I don't actually know what the difference is between arcade mode and classic mode. I've actually never looked at it myself, but from what I remember, there's actually a different set of cards that you have to use for the arcade mode compared to the classic mode. So that's interesting. There's also the Explorer's Handbook this one comes with, so it gives you kind of the backstory of all the characters and the story of the world, which is something that I really like. I love learning about world building. I love, like, this kind of shit is really interesting to me. If this didn't already have D&D vibes before, they give you an idea of, like, what each area is like, and I like that. That's cool. Let's get into the maps here. So, maps. So these tiles go for a lot more of a kind of like an overgrown castle garden vibe. From what I understand, it's an underground setting, or like it's very much like a green setting, very green. There's a lot of greenery in the set, but it's also really cool. Ugh, look at some of those tiles. I like the tiles. I want to use the tiles for D&D specifically. A lot of the reasons why I got this game and the expansions I have is because I wanted to use it for D&D, not really for playing the actual game. It's to use for a different game. So, anyways, let's go back to checking through this shit. Alright, another tile. Look at those tiles. Look at that. Boom. There's also a lot of, like, variation in these tiles. So, like, I actually really like that one, because that could provide some really cool gameplay moments. I always love when you have, like, these tight corners here. You can only allow, like, 1 or 2 people to slip through. I feel like if you were to set these tiles up, you can set them up any way you want, but if you set them up in the right way, you can make some really cool looking maps. So yeah, this one has a lot of tiles too. So, and I don't know if you can see it here, but I'll give you a closer look. So some of these tiles have little symbols on them, as you can see right here. There's a shield on this one. There is a little, like, Jack Skellington pumpkin face on that one. This one's got... where is it? This one's got, like, a little vines. Those are kind of like terrain effects. When you step on those certain areas, certain effects of the terrain will happen. Like, I believe if you step on the vines, it's like difficult terrain, so you can't really walk through those, or else you'll get damaged, stuff like that. Oh, this is the one. I added these boards in from a separate bundle that I got. It was all about slime. So these ones are very colorful tiles that I really love, that I really want to use. But as you can see, there's more like red, blue, green, and yellow crystals all over the place, which is actually... it makes the game a lot more colorful and a lot more eye-catching. Especially if you were to set these up in a specific way. I feel like this would be a really cool game to run. If you can tolerate, like, 20 minutes of prep time and setup, because that's what this game takes. Last tile, as you can see. So, let's go into some of the cards. So, like I said, that one set that I bought that wasn't part of this, it was like a slime set. So they have a whole bunch of different cards of specific slimes that you can encounter. And I thought these were fucking adorable. So, and different terrain effects, they have those as well. So if you didn't know what the terrain effects were, some of these cards will tell you what the tile effects are when you find them. So, that's good. Ugh. What is this? So this one has a whole bunch of different trap cards. So just to give you an idea. They're a lot smaller than the regulars. Like, by comparison, you can fit an entire card in that one. So these ones are a lot smaller. They're all trap cards. Another set of dice, which is always useful. Here are more hero cards. So this is the second edition of Super Dungeon Explorer. They put out second edition updated versions of all of the heroes from the first edition as well. So you have characters like the Paladin and the Barbarian and the Druid. All of these guys were from the first one that we saw before. But these are all updated for second edition rule set. So let's look at one of the second edition heroes. So I believe I added all the cards together to take up space. Alright, so here's some second edition heroes. Got Princess Emerald. She's like a sniper. Questing Knight, he's pretty cool. The Royal Warden. And the... can't read backwards. Thunderveil Huntress, which she's kind of like a dryad. So yeah, those are all the main... The main character cards are all in blue. So that's how you can tell them apart. What are these? I think these are the arcade version stuff for the enemies. Like the arcade cards for the enemies, from what I remember. I'm not exactly sure. There's a lot more cards in this one because they split them between the arcade version and the classic version. But here's some blue emerald artifacts. So actually, this one's got more. So these are all the artifact cards. Remember how I said they're color-coded? So you got blue ones, they go on top. green ones go on the left side, the red ones go on the bottom, and the yellow ones go on the right side. So that is your treasure cards, your artifacts. What do we got here? So this is kind of loot, that different kind of loot that enemies drop. So you'll see that some of these have pictures of the bosses on here. That means they drop from a boss if you can get them. But this is also different kinds of treasure and artifacts. They're all color-coded as well. As you can see, if they're from a boss, they'll have the color of like where they're supposed to go outlined around their portrait. So, and I believe the rest of these are all mostly the same thing. It's just the arcade versions of the same ones that we just looked at. More tiles, little extra effects, some that you wouldn't have seen before. Like, I don't know what that is, but that looks cool. A little ice one. I don't know what the ice one is. But the big daddy, you can't see it here because a little bit off screen. In this little bad boy, this is where we get the good stuff. This is where we get the good stuff. Oof. You ready for this shit? This is... I try to keep these all in the same box. Why is there tokens in here? I don't know why there's tokens in here. But... Ooh. Take a look at this. This is the Huntress, that Dryad. All of these come pre-made. All you got to do is paint them. My gosh. That is a really cool one. I actually really like that one. What's another one? Ooh. So this one I actually think is one of the coolest enemies that's in here. He is a like monster rabbit executioner. Like, let's see. Ooh, come on, focus. Focus. There we go. Take a look at that. Oof. He's gonna be chopping some heads tonight. Where's the big bad? I can save the big bad for some other time. How about we show up this guy? Look at that. Yeah, the quality really improved for this section compared to the first one. Especially because they all come pre-made for you, so you don't have to worry about getting glue all over the fucking place. And then after those big box sets, I do have a bunch of smaller box sets that don't exactly have any big stuff in them. Most of them just come with new cards and figures. I'm not going to open all of these up, but I will open up one of these, which is the only one I've actually painted. So, first off, we have this one, the Rock Top Gang, which is essentially a bunch of tortoises who... It's a new just series of enemies. So it's a whole bunch of new figures and cards. This is all that this little pack comes with. Besides that one, we've got a bunch of war bands. So we've got this one, Vondrak's Manor, which is a whole bunch of enemies and three or four new character pieces along with a bunch of new cards. This one's based off of like Castlevania, essentially. So that's what that one is. We've also got the Mistmorn Coast Warband, which is very similar. This one is a bunch of... It's more of like a troll level, coast level, and it's got one new character with it. A whole bunch of cards. Same thing as the Vondrak's Manor. This one's pretty cool too. But the one that I will show you is this one, the Stilt Town Zombies. This is the only one I've actually painted. And this one, as you can see, it's very much inspired by just zombies. It comes with one hero who's, I believe, a baker, and she has her own zombie rabbit. And a word from our sponsors, I guess, or just a word of note. This is the first time I had ever painted miniatures, so please be gentle on my horrible painting jobs. First, I'll show you the cards. So we've got the cards. So it gives you the hero cards, and then all of the monster cards, both classic and arcade mode, and then it gives you a whole bunch of new things that you can unlock. I've combined this warband with like a Halloween set, so that's why you get certain things like ghosts coming in, because those were not originally part of this warband. I combined them to save space, so that's what this Beatrix Witch Queen is. She was a separate thing. But yeah, those are the cards. These are the arcade cards. They're much smaller, but they've got a whole bunch of different things that happen, as you can see. So that's interesting. Now, let's get to the figures. So, let's start from the top and work our way down. So first off, we've got... I've painted these differently to what they're shown on the cards. And in this card, she's painted with like bleach blonde hair and a red. I wanted to paint them all a little bit differently so that they're more of my own creation. So this is what she looks like. She's got brown hair in this one, green eyes, and a blue thing. I actually like this one better. And then we've got like one of the main enemies. He's kind of like a voodoo king. This guy's pretty cool. So it's like a skeleton guy, I guess. Boop, 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 boop. That's pretty cool. Let's go into one of the big baddies. Ooh, look at that radioactive green zombie. Like the metal sheen on that. They're all bloody, so it gives me more House of the Dead vibes. This one is actually the Beatrix Witch Queen one, and I painted this one very differently compared to what her thing was. And this one, she's got white hair and a red everything else. We got some big fatty boys, big fat boy zombies. So some of the paint has been chipped off of these, so you'll see the purple is coming through. But with these, where there's multiple of this kind of enemy, I gave them different colored shirts so I can differentiate between them. So yeah, boop boop. What else do we got here? Oh, we got the little bunny. We got the little undead bunny, as you can see. Boo, 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 boo. Look at that. Look at that undead bunny. What else do we got here? We got a little undead house. A lot of green and yellow that I used for these. And then we got some of the zombies. These turned out really well. Let me, boo. Look at that. Same with these smaller zombies. They have different colored shirts. Ooh, they're a little faster runners that are blue compared to these guys who are green. But yeah, all of their clothing is a little bit different from one another because that is the way to... There's another house. That's the only way I can really tell them apart. So you can see that one's got a yellow shirt. This one's got a green shirt. I took like a professional looking picture with these before. But yeah, as you can see. Boom. This is the only set that I actually finished so far. I want to go and finish all the other sets. But as you can see, brownish orange. And then the final bit that kind of goes with with the Beatrix one. She came with 6 ghosts, and I thought I was going to do this one a little bit differently, so I decided to actually base it off of something. So I colored them all in like they're undead versions of little Pac-Man ghosts. So we've got the blue one, we've got like a purple one, or pink one, we've got a red one. Ooh. And we've got an orange one. Got the 4 ghosts there, but there's 6 ghosts in the pack. So, I also made Pac-Man. Look at that Pac-Man. Look at him. And Mrs. Pac-Man. So, those are all the ghosts in my hand, plus Pac-Man and Mrs. Pac-Man. So, big question, after I've shown you all of my Super Dungeon Explorer stuff, why did I say I have mixed feelings about this project, about this? Well, it's a little something that I'd like to refer to as the Super Dungeon Legends Kickstarter. This is something I've actually wanted to talk about for a while, but as you can see here, this is a project that I backed a while ago. And as you can see from the Your Voices Matter section, how do you feel about this project so far? It's not looking good. So first let me tell you about this project, this Kickstarter project. So Super Dungeon Legends, going from this, Super Dungeon Explorer, the chibi board game, returns with Legends, featuring a new starter box, campaign play, and RPG content, or RPG action. Created by Soda Pop Miniatures, it was pledged and it was backed on Kickstarter by over 6,000 backers. Its last update was half a year ago, and it gets worse. But first, let's just talk about what this thing was offering. So, there was $1 million brought into this project, but Super Dungeon Explorer Legend was essentially going to be a whole new bundle of stuff that you could use for your Super Dungeon Explorer stuff that you already had. There was also going to be a remake of the original box set, the first one that I showed you, but in 2nd edition format. So that was one of the things that they were offering. As you can see here, they had a whole bunch of pledges. But as you can see before you, they have the Super Dungeon Explorer 2nd edition box set, which has all the same stuff that I've already shown you before. It's just that all of these were going to become pre-glued, so all you had to do was open up the box and then paint them. Then it gives you kind of extra stuff. It gives you stuff like the rule books, 4 double-sided dungeon tiles, 9 hero models, Starfire, the Ruby Dragon dungeon boss model, a whole bunch of enemy boss models, game cards galore. There was a bunch of shit, but this was pretty much a remake. What I was more interested in was this Super Dungeon Legends core box and beyond. So, the Super Dungeon Legends stuff was essentially a way to make more of a D&D style role-playing atmosphere for your Super Dungeon Explorer game. So it added a whole bunch of new things meant for the in-between. Put together different missions and essentially make an entire campaign with overarching characters that you could play. That's essentially what all these rules were. So you have things like the Hero Handbook, which gives you an idea of the guide to advancing your heroes between adventures, including guild creation rules and role-playing tips to make a unique party of heroes all your own. That sounds amazing. Console's Grimoire, which, there's a whole bunch of pre-made campaigns, whole bunch of things that you could play right away, an explorer's guide, extra dungeon tiles, extra characters, extra stuff, just extra stuff in general. And I was like, cool, this is amazing. This is before I knew any better about this company and the project, and how they kind of bit off more than they could chew. So what they realized is that they hit their goal pretty damn early, and I backed this. I backed their Dark Console section, as you can see, which essentially meant that I pledged $150 US. So how much is $150 US? In Canadian, because I'm from Canada, I don't know, but it's more expensive. Probably around $200. So I dropped $200 into this shit. What was it going to give me? The Super Dungeon Legend stuff? A whole bunch of added things like new warband boxes. Look at this. Frostbite Ravagers. That looks fucking cool. With cool new characters. Crown Guard. I was really looking forward to this one. My gosh. Midnight Tower level box, a entirely new level box, like what I had those big 2 Forgotten King in the original. Those are level boxes. Another level box. Okay, digital content for people who didn't want all the extra baggage of all this extra crap. Pledge levels. These were the pledge levels. I paid $150 for the Dark Console one, and not only that, I got all the free stretch goals. All of this loot. Look at this. Look at all of this shit that they were promising. They were promising this shit to us through this Kickstarter. Okay? Look at all that. It's still going. it's still going. So yeah, by the pledge comparison, the only thing I didn't get from getting the Dark Console was the original Super Dungeon Explorer 2nd Edition, because I already had and put together the miniatures in the first section, so I didn't really need it, and I got the Forgotten King box as well, so I didn't need to get updated rules for the original characters. I already had it all. But there was just so much stuff that they were promising. Look at all the stretch goal stuff that they hit, and then you're probably wondering, when did this happen? You have this, you've shown all this stuff, but you haven't shown any of the stuff that you got. This pledge that I put through, this Kickstarter, was backed. Take a look at that date. Estimated delivery, December 2016. It is currently January 22nd, 2021. 6 years. 6 years. 5 years, actually. 5 years, sorry. 5 years. I still have not gotten the Kickstarter. You think that I'm a little upset about that? Yeah, well, I'm not the only one. And I'm actually one of the few that has not given a refund yet. My god, take a look at the updates. Every single time they've put out an update. Oh, would you like to anonymously request a new update? I'm not going to be anonymous. I want an update on this project right now, so yes. I am telling you, guys, I want an update on this project that I backed like 5 years ago. I want to know what happened with my money, and I want to know where the product is, because they're working on other Kickstarters right now. But look at some of these updates. Hello, backers. Alright, so this is talking about something on 3 different Kickstarters that I have not finished. I've looked into the other Kickstarters. Way of the Fighter, Relic Knights, they have not finished any of them. They have not given out any of these. They've started moving on to other projects over finishing the ones that they have already started. Now, if you think I'm harsh on the way this on the way this Kickstarter is, take a look at some of these comments, because some people are really upset. Take a meal here. New Masterclass Minis is nice, but what we really want to see you put some elbow grease into is fulfilling your previous obligations. You're not going to win anyone back with a measly $15 discount when your customers have already spent $300+ on merchandise and have seen neither hide nor hair of it. He makes a good point. This was back 4 days ago that he put that out. Edwin, if you support this company after this bullshit, you are part of the problem. No matter how you try to sugarcoat it, so you can feel a hero. You are not. You are feeding animals that will ask for more regarding the amount of money you give them. I want this company and the team behind it to resign. My respect for them is over. My god. This just keeps going. Like, people are talking about how they want this company to essentially go under because of how bad this Kickstarter went. How bad these 3 Kickstarters went, because I don't think any of them were fully finished. This one was not. Now, am I part of the problem? I still have my Super Dungeon Explorer stuff. Am I part of the problem by continuing to show this stuff off to you guys? I don't think so. I haven't given them any more money since then. I still want an update on what the fuck happened to my order, on what the hell happened to the money that I gave, the $200 that I spent. I just want substantial, just something that I was promised back in 2015, 6 years ago. I want the stuff that I was promised, the stuff that you were going to deliver, or you said you were going to deliver. Again, 6 years ago. But I think it's just important to talk about this, because this actually brings up another point about Kickstarter in general. A lot of people think that Kickstarter is kind of just this magical place where everything can get done, but Kickstarter can get it up to a certain point. Unless you know this company is amazing and they've got amazing customer service and you know they're not going to flop on delivering their Kickstarter backers like what they want, Kickstarter can be a real gamble, and I learned this the hard way when I backed this project. So do I like some of the quality of the stuff that I have? Of course, it's good quality. I'll probably use it for whatever D&D stuff is going to come up. Am I going to back anything else from this company in the future? If they ever decide to give me what I ordered? No, I'm not. Because 6 years without giving us something that we have been asking for, that's highway robbery. And yeah, that's all I can say about this. Learn better, guys. Don't make the same mistakes that I did. And for Ninja Division, Soda Pop Miniatures, specifically you two, because you two are the height of the problem with this one. You were the guys that made this Kickstarter. Deal with your shit and either give people their money back or finish your fucking Kickstarter stuff before you start making any of this new masterclass bullshit. That's it. I'm done rambling. See you guys.